This one is, I want to do 24 on video so that you get a chance. I'm going to go back in time. What's cosine 2x equal to? It's up on the board. Cosine what? Squared x minus sine squared. Well, somewhere along the line, somebody told you that the Pythagorean theorem, 1 minus sine squared x is equal to cosine squared x. So, the alternate form of cosine squared minus sine squared is 1 minus 2 sine squared. And I wrote it up there in green. 1 minus 2 sine squared. Another one that you could do for cosine squared x minus sine squared x is you could say, well, sine squared is 1 minus cosine squared. You could say that. Well, now you have negative 1, and you have cosine squared plus cosine squared. You have 2 cosine squared. So that's the other green one you can substitute. Now, when I look at 24, I've got to choose, do I want the purple or do I want the blue? Because I have a cosine x here. It kind of tells me, which one don't I want? Purple or blue? Purple, because it's got a sine squared. I only want the ones that have the cosine in it. So I'm going to change cosine 2x into 2 cosine squared x minus 1 equal to 2 minus 5 cosine x. Please, if you're drifting off, focus today. Focus right now, because this you're going to want to be able to do. I'm going to add 5 cosine to both sides. So you're going to get 2 cosine squared x plus 5 cosine x minus 1 equal to 2. And then I'm going to bring it back, 2 cosine squared x plus 5 cosine x, and I'm going to subtract 2 to make this minus 3 equals 0. Does that look familiar to you? Looks very what-like? Quadratic-like, yeah. Now this is an option and you don't have to do it this way, but I've found lots of students that appreciate it. I'm going to let u equal to cosine x. And you don't have to, you can just factor this if you want. But some students really like this. 2u squared plus 5u minus 3. Is that a little easier for you to see how to factor it? Is that a little easier? So factor that one. Drew, what should I factor this into?
Well, you should start with parentheses, a u at the beginning.
Yep, a u and a u, and one of them is going to have a 2, one will be that. And then, now what are you going to do with that negative 3? To get 5u in the middle. Should I put 3 in the first one or the second one? Let's see. 3 here, 1 here. 2u times 3 is positive 6u. And if I go minus 1u, I'll get 5u. Perfect, perfect. And so what I did is I have 2 cosine x minus 1 and cosine x plus 3 equals 0. Those are the 2. And this is just my thing. I like to say there's 2 cases where this is true. One case, if this were 0, the whole thing would be 0. I wouldn't care what this is. So either 2 cosine x minus 1 is equal to 0, or cosine x plus 3 equals 0. Because if this were 0, it wouldn't matter what this is. So we say there's 2 cases. Either one of those is equal to 0. Well, this one, 2 cosine x, will be equal to 1, and cosine x will be a half. This one, cosine x, is equal to negative 3. Well, tell me about this one. Cosine only goes up to what? 1. And down to negative 1. Does it ever get down to negative 3? No. So there's Never. No solutions for that. We love this because it's a lot less work now with that part gone. This one, now you know how to handle it. Draw a circle. Cosine is x or y. Cosine represents the, a little louder, x. So x equal 1/2 is a vertical line. Looks about like that. I would say that's about pi over 3, and that's going to be 5 pi over 3. So x is equal to pi over 3 plus 2 pi k, if you want to put that in there. K is an element of the integers, and 5 pi k over 3 plus 2 pi k. These are all the answers in the universe. And if you were just looking for 0 to 2 pi, you just have to do that.